the methods for bridging the difference between nations that have totally different social systems, values, religious beliefs is relatively easy. You don't start out by attacking their religion, social customs, or beliefs. You only bridge the difference through areas that you have in common, not the differences. All the people on earth require clean air, clean water, arable land, and the necessities of life: food, clothing, shelter, housing, and good education. This is where the Venus Project comes in. This is what the Venus Project has to offer to all nations, the necessities of life. It does not touch religious beliefs or social customs.
Right.
By getting all the nations to join together in the reconstruction of the restoration of nature, the reefs, the oceans, the rivers, the waterways, cleaning them out and rebuilding the soil, rebuilding our reefs, all nations can agree to that. But if you start talking about man having 5 wives or this religion or that, you're not going to bridge the difference. Even if you go to war and convert them by religious force, you're not going to really change people. They're going to meet underground. So the bridge between different nations is what they have in common, not the differences. And that is food, clothing, shelter, clean air, environment. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. So if I went to, say, Saudi Arabia, and I was given any kind of opportunity there, I would lecture at their universities and talk to their university professors who are already halfway there. I would not talk to their political leaders. I talked to the university professors about commonality of the earth and its resources and bridging all those differences so that we need not require this territory for Germany, this territory for France. We can open up the earth so that all people can travel anywhere without passports, sharing the ocean's resources, not 12 miles out. When you give a country like Africa, say 12 miles offshore would be their territory, no other nation may fish in that area, they have paid off political leaders, you know, $500 to be able to fish in those waters. You understand what I mean? It doesn't work. Money buys off the leaders, and they sell out their country. It isn't really their country. They're opportunists. Most politicians are. And I'm sorry about that, but the real way to do it is concentrate on the areas you have in common. Children become knowledgeable, better behaved, well-informed, and everybody on earth grows at the same time.
What we're calling today social and emotional learning actually had many of its roots back in the 80s when kids were having lots of problems with things like drugs, unwanted teen pregnancies, dropouts, violence in schools. And the federal government mandated programs to prevent these things. There was a war on bullying. There was a war on drugs. There was a war on violence in schools. And about the time I, as a science journalist at the New York Times, was looking around at what I ended up calling emotional intelligence, about that time a foundation, the W.T. Grant Foundation, funded a study of all of these programs because people realized some of these programs work and a lot of them don't. And they wanted to know what's working. And so they did an analysis of the different components and so on. They realized that the programs that worked all shared a common set of ingredients. And what were they? They're helping kids become more self-aware. They're helping them manage their distressing feelings. They're helping them be more empathic, control impulse, make sound social decisions like, you know, how can I say no to drugs and keep my friends? And that essence has been extracted from those programs and brought to the classroom as social emotional learning. Today, they've completed a mega study of more than 200 independent analyses that look at kids who have these programs and kids who don't, comparable kids. And they find that if kids get the the training in social emotional learning, that all pro-social behaviors, things like attendance, behaving well in class, liking school, they all go up about 9 or 10 percentile points. And the things that they're trying to prevent, you know, the drug use, the violence in schools, the bullying, all of that goes down by the same margin. And the real kicker, I think, is that academic achievement goes up 11 percentile points. And if you look at the difference between groups of kids who don't do well and groups who do, the difference in their achievement is in about the same range. I mean, this pretty much closes the achievement gap. And it works best for the kids who need it the most. So today, I think that the social emotional learning movement has the ammunition to go to the next level, really to take it to scale, to make it available to every kid.